Prince Andrew's new home. A lonely royal farmhouse overlooking muddy turnip fields. Prince Andrew appears to be fighting a losing battle with his brother King Charles to avoid being evicted from Royal Lodge, the rambling mansion in Windsor where he lives with ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. Despite being given a 75-year Crown estate lease by the late Queen Elizabeth in 2003, the disgraced Duke of York is under siege as the monarch pushes him to downsize and cut costs. So where could he go? Ronn Torossian, founder and chairman of 5WPR, weighed in on the potential options for Andrew's relocation. Welcome to Royal Pancakes. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell, so you don't miss any news about the British monarchy. He said the Duke had adamantly turned down nearby Frogmore Cottage, the former home of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And his financial worries mean that he won't be renting or buying a high-end private building or home anywhere in London. Torrosian told Express.co.uk, a seemingly more appropriate place would likely be Wood Farm on the Sandringham Estate, given its isolation, and would definitely help keep Andrew away from the public eye. Many members of the royal family have found refuge at Wood Farm. The Sandringham Estate in Norfolk has 27 properties, including the main house and Anmer Hall, given to Prince William and Princess Catherine as a wedding present. Wood Farm is a 5-bedroom farmhouse built in the local Norfolk style with reddish-brown bricks and beige roof tiles, with an L-shaped stable block and yard and expansive lawns on all sides. The nearby St. Peter's Sea Church has hosted many royal services. The cottage is along a private road behind the church, several miles from the main estate on the far side of the village of Wolferton. It is surrounded by arable fields growing turnips, carrots and other household staples, and is only a short stroll from the sea. Well, the Wash, which is not quite the same thing. The Wash is a shallow bay made up of multiple estuaries and deep water channels, along with vast mudflats, making it the most important wetland site in the UK. Famously, the English King John lost some of his jewels in the Wash when his baggage train got stuck in the mud in 1216. 800 years later, another royal John, Prince John, George V's youngest child, lived at Wood Farm with his nurse, Lala Bill, away from his family, due to his epileptic condition. He was known as the Lost Prince and he died at Wood Farm in 1919. The cottage was later rented out to various tenants before Prince Philip decided it would make the perfect refuge for himself and Elizabeth when there were no guests to entertain in the big house at Sandringham. In the last years of his life, the Duke of Edinburgh spent most of his time at Wood Farm. They lived a remarkably simple life when they were there, illustrated by the story told by one royal courtier. "I was once at a shooting lunch," Harry Mount reported in the Daily Telegraph. "At the end of lunch, I heard someone say, 'I'll do the washing up.' I turned round and there was the Queen in her yellow washing up gloves." It has also served other purposes, such as when the Duchess of York was asked to stay there following her divorce from Andrew because Philip wouldn't countenance having her in the main house. And William and Kate would stay there on Christmas visits to Sandringham before they were married. King Charles has already chosen who should move into Royal Lodge once Prince Andrew departs the property, as the reality of eviction nears for the disgraced Duke. Andrew is clinging to the Windsor mansion despite his brother's best attempts to kick him out. Charles has already removed Andrew's security team as he turns up the heat on him to vacate the lodge and move somewhere smaller, such as Frogmore Cottage. But the Duke of York, who signed a 75-year lease on the property over 20 years ago, is determined to stay in the home he shares with ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. Reports now suggest Charles is already lining up Andrew's replacement at the lodge, and it is bound to sting. Youngest brother Prince Edward and his wife Sophie are set to be rewarded with the house after stepping up to the plate during this year's royal crisis. With both Charles and Princess Catherine undergoing cancer treatment, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh have increased their workload to fill in at a host of engagements. While the brothers have had a difficult relationship at times over the years, Charles is said to have been greatly impressed with his reaction to the crisis, reports the Daily Mail. Royal expert Richard Kay said, Charles has entertained the thought of offering Royal Lodge to his youngest brother, Prince Edward. The two haven't always seen eye to eye, but the king has been hugely impressed by the manner in which Edward and his wife, Sophie, have increased their workload since their elevation to Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh.